What are we going to look at today? Well, this morning, we are going to look at a bunch of knife adjacent EDC items like challenge coins and things like that. So a lot of guys have got stuff that they carry that's part of their EDC kit. I usually only touch on knife stuff because, to tell you the truth, I don't carry a lot of other stuff except maybe a little flashlight. But we're not going to talk about it any further here. We're going to look at it from above. But first, you guys know what time it is. Turn down the volume because here comes a little bit of music. Guys, like I said in the title, we're looking at EDC adjacent items. I've laid a bunch of stuff out here. We got some Pry Bars, bottle openers, stuff like that. These are all things a lot of people get into the knife hobby where it kind of crosses those lines where they're into these items as well as knives. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of this stuff first. Let me pick what we're going to do first. I decided we'd look at challenge coins first because it was easier than trying to move them and bring them back neatly. So these are challenge coins. So a little history behind challenge coins. They're kind of a military thing. What happens is when you go to the bar, you challenge somebody to show you their unit coin, and it's going to have their unit information and stuff on it. This is from my ship, the USS Fort McHenry, that I was stationed on, home of the brave. This is one of those things that is a military thing. This was given to me by a friend of mine that works over at SEAL Group 1. And there's a bunch of different things. So commands have their own coins made up. This is from my first ship, the USS Dubuque. And so what happens is you go to a bar. This one has some real historical. I'm sorry, I'm doing this. This is the 50th anniversary of Iwo Jima. I got this and I went because my grandfather was at Iwo Jima. So at any rate, what these are, these command coins, some of them, this one's not. And if you're at a bar and somebody challenges you to show you their coin, if you don't have your unit coin, you owe them a drink at the bar. And it's just a cool little piece of military history that a lot of people carry in their pockets. Now, I have not carried a challenge coin daily for a lot of years, but when I did, I usually would carry whatever unit I was associated with. I used to have a lot more of these, but my coins got stolen. I would carry the coin that would be from the unit I was associated with, and it was just a cool little thing that military guys do. I had a collection of these. Like I said, a lot of them got stolen, but they are unique little pieces of art because each one of them is going to be unique and individual. They're going to have different logos, different ways that they finished them. I think this is one of my favorite ones because of all the times in the world that I could think of, this is probably the best time of my life was when I spent on this ship. A lot of people talk about high school and college. Mine was the 4 years that I spent on the USS Dubuque. It was a great, great place. But all of these coins represent a point in my life, and it's something fun to look back on and carry. This one was one that I carry a lot as well. So they're all specific points in my life that I can look back on through these and enjoy that. So they're kind of fun to have in your pocket, and there's something that you can show off to your friends. And like I said, there's kind of a game to it. If you happen to go to a bar like a VFW or someplace where there's veterans, challenge somebody to their coin. I'm going to think that you're going to wind up, if you don't have one in your pocket, you're going to wind up having to owe that person a drink. So there you go. Challenge coins. Just something that's kind of cool and fun. That's EDC adjacent, knife EDC adjacent. The next one is lighters. And I have a collection of lighters. A lot of them are like challenge coins. They came from military units. But a lot of guys carry lighters. There's a lot of guys that smoke, but a lot of people carry a Zippo just because having a lighter is just one of those things that's always cool. And it is good to have one in case something happens and maybe you're stranded out in the woods. You have a way to light a fire. So they wind up becoming a useful piece of EDC gear. But then the flip side is sometimes they are very artful. Neither of mine have fluid in them. I haven't carried them for a very long time because I don't smoke. So, but you know, some of these old lighters that have been around for a while, they're really artful and it's just kind of fun to have one. So lighters are something that people also collect and carry as EDC items. And like I said, not just for the flash. Sometimes you have EDC flash versus EDC functional. This is kind of a mix of both, unlike the challenge coins. This serves a purpose. Like I said, if you happen to be stranded and you have a lighter in your pocket, you have a way to make a fire, signal fire, things like that. And they are attractive, they're beautiful. There's a lot to be said for a handcrafted lighter like these versus just carrying a Bic lighter. But a Bic lighter is also a good piece of EDC gear because it is an emergency piece of kit that you can have. So there you go. There is number 2, a lighter. A Zippo lighter, to be more precise, because, well, they're fun and they're attractive. The next one is going to be watches. And I hate to admit it, but I own one watch. I have my Apple Watch Series 7. I find it really useful, mainly because there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. There are a ton of different applications you can get. Now, I understand that this is not the watch that I'm talking about, like the knife adjacent thing, but a lot of guys are heavy into watches. And if you really want to watch a channel that bridges both those gaps, go over and see Nick Shabazz. He has a lot of knife and watch related content. I've never gotten into the super expensive watches. I've always looked at a watch as an EDC item that was just simply there for one purpose. And I actually have gotten to where I use this a lot. There's a lot of things I do with this. And you can, like I said, there's so many things you can do. There's compasses and things like that. Now, that's not the typical kind of watch, but pens, watches, those all fall into those EDC adjacent items. I just threw this one in because I did know that watches are definitely a knife adjacent EDC item. A lot of people that are really into intricate watches, over the top watches, are really into custom over the top intricate knives. So you can kind of see where that goes. You know, knives and watches are like the only items that you're going to find where people try to make them more complicated, not less complicated. It really is kind of an enigma where you're engineering more complexity into something than you are removing. So at any rate, there's your next one. This was your next one, watches. EDC item, knife adjacent EDC that I am going to show is flashlights. Now, a few years ago, I would never have thought that I would have a flashlight in my pocket every day. But these days, typically either this Baton 3 or this little Lumen Tops done for mass drop with the 3 different brightness settings wind up finding their way in my pocket pretty much 24/7. This is a little like a little AAA. You could just change out your AAA battery. This one and this one both are rechargeable. This is a lot larger. This is something I would keep in my glove box or keep in my car. But this is a great flashlight. But having a small flashlight to be able to light something up, find something, if you're lost in the dark, you're working on your car, it's great to have. And, you know, we always used to put like the little mini mag lights in our glove box. These have gotten to a point where they're so small and so easy to carry and have so many different functions that it just doesn't make sense not to have one at this point. And so this is a piece of the kit that I'm bringing out that I have pretty much daily in my pocket. I can't believe how often I use this now that I have a couple of these EDC flashlights. It gets used constantly. One of the nice things about them is you can put this on the bill of your hat and you've got a headlight if you happen to be looking down in the glove box. If you're looking for something in your shop and it's just kind of in a dark corner, it's great. You're out in the yard with the dog and you hear something in the bushes, you can shine your flashlight over and just pull it out of your pocket. They are extremely functional, extremely nice to have, and at this point, almost an essential piece of my day-to-day carry. I really feel like when I don't have a knife in my pocket, everybody jokes like, oh, I don't have a knife in my pocket, I feel naked. I feel the same way when I don't have my flashlight in my pocket. I feel as though there's something missing because I have realized how important it is to be able to have a small little flashlight with you all the time. So there you go. Really important piece of daily carry kit that is knife adjacent EDC items, but like a good flashlight, a good little flashlight is something nice and almost essential to have at this point. I had 2 different groups that I was going to kind of throw together, but I decided to separate them at the last minute. So we're going to have 6 different. I said 6 and I was going to break it down to 5. Pry bars. Pry bars are something that I never saw myself getting into until I saw a couple of them. This is the one that I really, the Enigma by my buddies, by Rat Bastard, Nathan over at Rat Bastard. This is one that I could really get behind because it has so many different functions. You got a pair of tweezers and you got a pry bar. And I never really thought I would be into the pry bar thing. but I really catch myself using this a lot. I don't carry it as often. I have one of these that is on my keychain. My wife has one of these that's on her keychain. I keep this on my workbench because it is nice to have a little pry bar. I'll tell you when this gets used a lot. Knives that I just cannot get apart because it's titanium. It's not going to mar the surface. I can get down in and I can kind of put a little leverage and pop a knife open if I'm taking it apart for disassembly. But a lot of guys carry these pry bars in their pockets, in a pocket slip and things like this. And they are really functional and I can see it. I don't, like I said, carry mine as often, but a lot of guys, this is part of their day-to-day carry. So on some of these, you got multiple things. This has tweezers. There's actually a bit driver that I have successfully lost and don't know where it went. Bottle opener, you have some hex bits on it. And of course your pry bar. And then this edge on this one can be used for opening packages. Same kind of thing. Pry bar, nail puller, couple different, hex heads, and a bottle opener on this little pry bar. And I've used this pry bar as well, and they're both really functional, both in titanium. But a small little pry bar is something that some guys just find an essential piece of their gear. And I can't argue it. I could see people carrying it. Like I said, I say I don't carry mine, but I have one of these on my keychain. So nice little piece of kit to carry around. Multiple different functions that you can use this for. One of the things that I use this most for, scraping, this one that's a little smaller and thinner, scraping labels, scraping stickers and adhesive off of stuff. Comes in really handy because, like I said, it being titanium, even though it's been carbonized on that edge, still much less likely to scratch a surface than steel. So there you go, pry bars. Pry bars are a fun little piece of kit that are knife adjacent. So the last one are these little titanium bottle openers. And I know that you're going to look at like this one is a Ferrum Forge bottle sword. This is 100% US made. This was titanium and they had them done at SDPM. So this was the Ferrum Forge one. But a lot of people have these little bottle openers in their pocket. I collect unique bottle openers. I have a bunch of them inside the house. I just broke out a couple of them that I really like. This bottle cleaver by Wasteland Oddities and my Ferrum Forge bottle sword, some of my favorites because they're unique. They get attention. When people see them, they're like, wow, what is that? And I was like, oh, that's my little bottle opener. But a lot of guys carry these as part of their pocket EDC stuff. I don't typically, because I know how to open a beer bottle with the flipper tab on a knife. So typically I already have it. So I leave these here at the house because, like I said, I collect them. I enjoy them. They're fun. I get them out and I set them out if I have people over and they can use my different bottle openers. I have a couple over here that I've gotten from different places that hang up. But bottle openers are kind of cool. And now they've become almost collectible and they are an EDC item. And I really kind of enjoy it because that's something I can relate to. Not necessarily the carrying, but the collecting. I've collected bottle openers for years. It drives my wife nuts. Every year or so I have to get rid of a couple of them because I have a whole drawer full of bottle openers. And like I said, some of these have bottle openers built into them as well and would be kind of fall into that grouping. That's why I was going to group them together, but I thought, because I do have a collection of these, that I would separate them. But yeah, just a lot of fun. And I have seen people carrying these unique little kitsch bottle openers at knife shows and stuff like that. And it's always cool to see them. And it's almost like trading cards. Like people look at them and they're like, oh man, that's cool. And sometimes you'll trade with people and get a bottle opener you want for one that you might not use. I've seen people doing it. It's one of those little offshoots of the knife collecting community. So there you go, guys, bottle openers. So that's all of them. That was 6 different types of EDC, knife adjacent EDC items. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit different than our typical content, but it was a lot of fun. So let's turn this around and do some final thoughts. There you go, guys. There was a bunch of stuff that is knife adjacent EDC. Like I said, I'm the guy that typically has a knife, my wallet, and a flashlight, and that's about it. My phone I don't even consider as an EDC item just because it's a necessity at this point. So not a big over-the-top EDC guy. We did the EDC bro thing. But at any rate, guys, that's it on this one. That's the end of this one. If you like the videos, give them a thumbs up. If you don't like them, give them a thumbs down. Please try to tell me why. I still see the dislikes even though you guys can't. I use this as a metric, and if you tell me what you don't like, I'll start changing some of the content. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment, hit that share button and share the video with like 5 people you think would enjoy it that don't typically follow stuff like this. Other ways you can do it though, down in the description, I have a membership link. that gets you in on a bunch of different benefits based on tier. Pick the tier that offers what you're looking for. But everyone gets $5 off my sharpening service, and everyone that's a member gets access to my gilded server where we sit and chat and talk and stuff like that. And if you want to be a premium tier member, I have a sharpening tutorial series that you would get access to. Other ways you can do it, I have affiliate links for a lot of the stuff that you see on the channel down in the description. Anything you purchase through those affiliate links, I get a portion of it at checkout and it doesn't cost you anything. And finally, I have a merchandise store where you can purchase my merchandise. And I have a coupon code set up for you. It is CrazySharp, capital C, capital S, all one word, CrazySharp. Saves you 10% at checkout anywhere on Ember Shirt Co. If you send me pictures of you wearing my merchandise, I will put them in the videos. Guys, spinny chair, I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. And I will see you in the next video.